card is selected and thoroughly lost back into the deck of cards. With a simple wave of the magician's hand, the spectator's card appears in between the two cards. This is the sandwich trick.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Josiah and today I'm going to be sharing with you a really cool trick, actually an idea really. Today I'm going to be introducing you to what's called sandwich effects, and what that essentially means is that you have two playing cards. Normally they look very similar, for instance like two black jacks or two red queens or two jokers or anything like that, and the spectator's card appears magically somehow sandwiched or in between the two, sandwich. Basically, it's a card sandwich. So it's a really, really cool effect. It's a very important one to know, and it really hits hard. It really hits your spectators hard. So we're going to be learning that today, and let it be noted that I am back in school, which means that we will be back to weekly uploads. We will not be doing some extra little uploads during the week. Sorry about that, but we're going to be back to our regular schedule of weekly uploads over the weekend. So yeah, anyway, let's just get into the tutorial. Alright, here we are in the tutorial. So for this video I'm going to be using the Star Wars playing cards of the Red Edition by Theory 11. So yeah. A couple of things about this video before we begin. First off, did you like that new way of introducing it? I thought it was kind of a fun way to do it. Maybe doing like a flourish or something with the deck of cards to begin with every video, something like that, like a deck flip, anything like that. And also, I've changed the camera angle slightly. I've raised the camera a little bit, so you're looking a little bit more downward on my hands than kind of from the side. I'm hoping that will make it a little bit easier to see and understand the tutorial. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So this is called a sandwich effect, again, because the spectator's card appears sandwiched in between two other cards. So first off, before we begin, you need to go through and you need to pull out two cards that are very similar. They can be similar in color, or they can be similar in number, maybe not color, but it works best, and it's the best type of effect, I think, in my opinion at least, if you get two cards that are the same value and the same color, or just a pair of cards. So for me personally, I prefer to use the jokers. It's just I've always done that as I've learned my magic, and I would continue to do it that way. So you're gonna pull out two jokers, and we're going to begin by learning the basic sandwich effect. Essentially, this is called the sandwich move. I believe it's just a basic sandwich move, but essentially the way it works is it's just the basic way that we get the spectator's card secretly in between the two cards, because obviously we have to secretly, using sleight of hand, get the spectator's card in between these two cards. That's essentially how it works. So this is the basic sandwich move, the basic way that we do that. So the way it works is you begin by having a spectator select their card, and first off you begin by setting these cards aside, and then you have a spectator select a card, in this case the Six of Hearts, and then we control that card back to the top of the deck in whatever way we'd like. You can do something like a top change, which I've taught on the channel in a previous video. I'll leave a link to that in the description box, but that allows you to keep it on top. You can also do like this control here that I taught in that card switch video, where let's say we have the Queen of Diamonds, and I take, sorry, I messed it up, but we take a card, slip it in the middle, just like that. I don't do that one a whole lot, but that is one you can do. But essentially, any way you need to do it, we just need to get your card to the top. So, Then what we're going to do, we're going to come over here, we're going to bring the spectator's attention to the two jokers. As we do that, we're going to wrist kill the deck, which means essentially that you're just turning it toward you slightly so that the spectator can't really see the backs of the cards. Now, they're different. Now, sometimes when you wrist kill, you're going to wrist kill by turning your hand completely over like this, or you're going to turn it like this. We're just going to tilt it slightly toward us, not too much, but just enough that the spectator can't really see much of what's going on here. But we don't want to do it like this because that's just kind of weird. It's just like, no one ever does this, okay? You just want to kind of turn it slightly, and all you're going to do is you're just going to use your thumb to push over this top card, and as you pull it back, you're just going to get a pinky break underneath the card like this, okay? So you're just going to get a pinky break like that, okay? So you get your pinky break. You're going to take these two cards, you're going to set them right here. Now, the sandwich move looks like this, okay? We show that we have the two jokers, and of course we've secretly gotten their card. So it's very simple. All we do is we square up the two jokers with pack, and then we're going to lift up all the cards above the break. So we're actually lifting 3 cards. Because we had a break underneath this card, we're actually going to lift 3 cards up, and we're going to use our thumb to slide over the top card like this while holding these cards in middle grip like this, and we set this card on top, okay? Of course, this is actually 2 cards, okay? It's pretty self-explanatory. You just have your break. So again, we're here, we wrist kill as we get our break underneath the top card, okay? We come over here, we set these cards on top, we square them up, we still have a pinky break beneath, and now it's beneath the top 3 cards. That's the 2 face-up jokers and the spectator selection. We pretend to pick up the 2 jokers, we slide one off, and then set the other one here, or at least that's the spectator's card secretly. So that's the basic version of it. You can make it a little bit better using these tips though. So if you want to make this better, before revealing their card, what you can do actually is you can actually come here and you can set the bottom card on top of the break, but instead of squaring up both cards, you leave them like this, okay? So what that does is it puts us in this position where we have a break beneath a face-up joker, spectator's face-down selection, and then we have another joker right here. So then we pick up all 3 cards, except for we're holding the top joker as one single card, and the bottom joker is actually secretly 2 cards. So we do that. And then what we actually do is then all we have to do is we just slip one over the other like that, okay? And what this does is it makes it very clear that we're lifting only 2 jokers, okay? So it's a very fair. We can clearly see that we've lifted 2 jokers. Instead of squaring them up and then lifting them and just assuming that we've picked up 2 jokers, we get to actually see the 2 jokers being picked up. And of course it helps if you just kind of switch their places a few times just to make this part more casual. I say, look, okay, so of course we have our 2 jokers, and then I do whatever reveal I'd like. So when you're revealing the spectator's card in between the 2 jokers, it's important to do that in a very magical way. The most basic magical way that you can do it is that you can just shake the spectator's card, and as you do so, what you do is you hold the cards like this. So you're in this position, you use your index finger to just kind of push, and you basically, I don't really know how to explain it, you just basically use your thumb to slide the top card over to reveal this card, and you do that under the cover of shaking, so similar to the shake change, which I've taught on the channel before in a shorts video. Under the cover of shaking, you get this visual illusion that their card is just appearing there. So it's very visual, okay? So the way another version of this would work with using the top change is that we would begin by setting the spectators, having spectators' cards right here on the table. And what we can actually do is we can have a spectator select a card. We see the card, we do a top change for that card. As we set this card aside, we say, actually, you know what? Again, I just want to make sure we're very clear that we have 2 jokers here. So then we do our sandwich load, and then we square these up here. We set them on the table, and then we lose the spectator's card. And what this does is it creates the illusion that the jokers were on the table the entire time. It makes it a little bit more impossible. Okay, so anyway, you lose the spectator's card in the middle, and then you get this time misdirection between when the jokers were set on the table, when you did the sandwich move, and when the card appears between them, and that makes it just so much more impossible, essentially. Okay, so that principle is called time misdirection. Again, so, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Time misdirection essentially is just when you use is when you increase the length of time between one thing and the next, and it makes the effect more impossible because it psychologically kind of forces the spectator to forget something or certain aspects of something. So in this case, the spectator will forget all about this whole thing, okay, unless they were a magician. They'll remember you did a sandwich move, okay? But the spectator will forget about this whole switching the places of the Joker. They'll just remember you set down the Joker and then lost their card into the deck, okay? Then, what you do is you can then show the spectator's card is not in here, and you can snap your fingers or make a magic gesture, and then you can have the spectator actually just slowly spread these two cards and reveal their card in between them. Okay. So obviously there are a lot more types of sandwich effects. I just wanted to get a basic introduction in here so that you know all about exactly what the sandwich effect is. So yeah, let's just head to the outro. Alright, and that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload a new video. That's really a mouthful. You don't know how hard it is for me to say that. I always mess that up. But anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I don't really have much to say about this. I really made this video mostly so I could give you, for two reasons. First, I wanted to give you a trick that used the card switch light that we've learned, and I also wanted you to provide a basic introduction to the idea of the card sandwich so that in the future we can pursue the idea further when the need arises. So, anyway, next weekend we will be doing another episode of the Summer Stack series, and I decided next week will be the second to last episode of the Summer Stack series, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, can't wait to see you in the next video.